Here's 15 most expensive items Mr. Beast owns that cost more than your entire life. And first up is $7.5 million private jet collection. You won't believe this, but in 2022, Jimmy actually purchased three absolutely identical private jets, and each of them cost Mr. Beast exactly 2.5 million bucks. But the crazy part is that two of those private jets he actually sacrificed for his YouTube channel, because one of them Jimmy literally crashed in a video and the other one he gave away to YouTubers. The winner of 2.5 million jet turned out to be a YouTuber Rotosaw, who immediately sold the jet from Mr. Beast and kept the money to himself. The third 2.5 million jet Jimmy actually owns till this day. He uses it to make international flights to different countries such as India, Japan, and even Antarctica. But those jets worth pennies compared to a $50 million neighborhood Mr. Beast bought in his hometown. This might sound like a joke, but Jimmy actually bought a couple of whole damn streets with over hundreds of houses. And the reason behind that is actually while Jimmy lives in a small town Greenville in North Carolina, and he even built a giant headquarters right here. And since a lot of his employees were not able to live nearby Mr. Beast's office, Jimmy simply decided to buy half of the city just to give the houses to all of his employees for free. According to sources, the entire neighborhood is worth over $50 million, and it makes it one of the most expensive things Mr. Beast has ever owned. But the next one is literally set the world record, because it turned out to be Mr. Beast's $1.4 million YouTube play buttons collection. It's not a secret that Jimmy owns a bunch of crazy play buttons from YouTube, such as custom-made 50 million subscribers button that he was given by a YouTuber, or even his official 200 million subscriber play button. Oh, that's like, oh my god, what got? But little did you know that Jimmy owns over 90 different play buttons for all of his international channels. Just look at this wall. The thing is that Jimmy has over 40 unique channels on different languages around the world, such as Portuguese, French, Arabic, Hindi, and even Japanese. And since most of his channels have millions of followers, Jimmy got a silver, gold, and even a diamond play buttons for every single one of them. The total collection has over 50 silver play buttons, over 20 gold buttons, and over 10 of the diamond ones. Needless to say, the collection is crazy expensive, and the estimate cost of this entire wall is over 1.4 million bucks. But if you think that was expensive, here's probably one of the most expensive buildings in America, and it's owned by Mr. Breast. This is a $70 million studio where Jimmy films all of his videos. This thing is bigger than a real airport, and according to Jimmy, Hollywood is literally jealous of how big and modern this studio is. Mr. Beast once said that he spent several years to build it, and he films 90% of his videos inside of it. It contains hundreds of rooms for thousands of Mr. Beast employees. It also has some big outside land where Mr. Beast filmed his Olympic Games video, and even a 100 Days in a Circle one. And as Jimmy said, even if he retires from YouTube, he can easily sell this studio to Disney or any other movie-making company, and they will be happy to buy it. Okay, but the number 5 is literally mind-blowing, because people found out that Mr. Beast owns over 80 expensive cars. This car collection is going to go down in history because it's literally worth tens of millions of dollars. Over the past few years, Jimmy destroyed a couple of different Lamborghinis and gave away more than 10 of them. One Lambo he gave away to people who put their hands on the car, and the other one he simply gave to a guy who basically wanted to get to his job by an Uber ride. One of the Lambos Mr. Beast even bought while pretending to be a homeless person. But Lamborghini is not even a favorite Mr. Beast car brand, because right now Jimmy drives a $150,000 Tesla. He also doesn't drive by himself and pays money to a guy just to drive him around the city. Every single friend of Mr. Beast also drives a Tesla, including Chris, Carl, and Chandler. There is also more than 50 other less expensive cars Jimmy has in his garage, but the total price for the collection of 10 Lambos, over 5 Teslas, and about 60 other cars has to be worth at least $5 million. Well, but the next one might actually leave you speechless, because turns out that Mr. Beast doesn't have his own house. He actually lives in a small studio inside of his office, and even though this thing is tiny, yet it is crazy expensive. The entire studio is just about 200 square feet, but cost over $700,000. Jimmy even has a Bluetooth lock here, so he doesn't even have to use a real key to get inside of the apartment. Were you struggling to get inside that room? All you got to do is just that it picks up the Bluetooth on my phone, and it recognizes it's me, so I can unlock the door. The entire studio has only one room, and the crazy part about this place is actually a heated toilet seat. According to Jimmy, this will simply change your life, but the best part about this studio is that it's literally located inside of the office, so Jimmy doesn't have to waste time driving to the job, because he basically lives on the job. That's a pretty smart move by Mr. Beast, but not actually as smart as the next multi-million-dollar purchase. Well, things are getting crazier, and apparently in 2023 Mr. Beast bought 20 real tanks. We already have seen some of them in his recent videos, and these tanks turn out to be the M4 Sheeran tanks. Jimmy's obsession with those tanks started way before than you think, because even in 2018 Mr. Beast was celebrating the 4th of July by Ubering strangers in a tank, and according to the official military websites, to buy 20 of those M4 Sheeran tanks you'll need exactly $5 million, or basically 250 grand, per every single tank. That's some wild way to spend money. But the next stupidly expensive thing also appeared in one of Jimmy's recent videos, and that's a real grocery store. Jimmy wanted to keep it in secret, but people noticed that this grocery store turned out to be a Safeway supermarket, and apparently this was one of the most expensive things Mr. Beast has ever bought for a video, because not only Jimmy had to buy the land, the building, and the groceries inside, but he basically had to pay money to Safeway just to buy one of their real grocery store. Some guy on Reddit said it cost at least $3 million, but the price is probably way higher. The person inside of that grocery store spent exactly 45 days inside alone and sold the groceries for a hopping $450,000, and according to Mr. Beast, he donated all of the groceries to charity. Jimmy is an absolute legend. Okay, but the next one is for real gamers out here, because Jimmy spent over $1 million on building a dream gaming setup for him and his friends, and I'm not even joking. Not only it has a giant $400,000 server room where the giant computer collects all the data, but the gaming room itself is just a paradise for a gamer. Every single gaming setup contains the most expensive pieces on Earth, and of course all of the computers in the room are cloned exactly 4 times for every single Mr. Beast friend to be able to play together. Not only the guys play video games there, but they also use to film Mr. Beast gaming videos here. But if you think spending over $1 million on a gaming room is crazy, let me tell you about a thing that cost Mr. Bleach $20 billion, and you won't believe what it actually is. Recently, Jimmy revealed that his entire YouTube empire, containing 6 of his channels, is actually cost $20 billion bucks. And I'm not even kidding, probably like 10 billion, 20 billion. Jimmy said it is a fair price to sell the most subscribed channel in the world, with over 200 million views on every single video, because that's basically double the Super Bowl. Needless to say that Jimmy makes millions of dollars off each of the brand deals he puts in his videos, and his channel makes him tens of millions of dollars per month. He also spent a whole 12 years to grow this channel, starting from 2012, and he basically treats his channel like his own child. But being worth 20 billion might actually make you go crazy, and that's exactly what Mr. Beast did in his next purchase, because apparently Mr. Beast owns one of the most expensive and weirdest world records. In 2023, Jimmy and his team built a $200,000 Minecraft village in real life with a giant creeper in the middle of it, which turned out to be the largest Minecraft building in real life to ever exist. This entire village contains 6 houses, a Minecraft hay bales made out of real hay, and every house is actually full of furniture inside of it. It was done so accurate that one block in real life was exactly 2.5 feet tall. Apparently this village was built just for fun, but after half a year of it existing in a Mr. Beast studio backyard, he simply decided to destroy it for a video by putting a wild amount of dynamite inside of the creeper, and somehow a lot of people think this explosion was made using the CGI. So let me know in the comments if this was real or fake. But Minecraft in real life wasn't the only expensive world record by Mr. Beast, because his $300 million burger company also owns a Guinness World Record. When Jimmy was opening his first ever restaurant, over 10,000 people showed up to eat Jimmy's buns. This caused a big problem for Mr. Beast, because Jimmy was not expecting that many people to show up, and after his fans took photos with Jimmy, they went to his restaurant and set a world record of the biggest amount of burgers sold in one day. The Beast Burger Company is also way more expensive than you think, because it made over $150 million in sales over the past 365 days. meaning Mr. Beast Burger brings Jimmy $1 million every 60 hours. That's some mind-blowing numbers, but to film some of his videos, Mr. Beast needs some expensive camera. And I'm not talking about some multi-million-dollar long cameras that TV channels use in soccer or NBA. I'm talking about YouTube cameras, and just because of one video that cost Mr. Beast millions to film, Jimmy had to experience a huge camera problem. In the video ages 1 to 100 fight for $500,000, every single contestant had their very own glass cube, and to film everyone from different angles, Jimmy and his cameraman, Terry, had to buy over 300 different cameras. Jimmy also said later that this video turned out to be 40,000 man-hours worth of footage, and the total price for 300 cameras is at least $1.8 million, but probably way more. Okay, but the next one cost billions, and it's Mr. Beast's chocolate company, Pebbles. This thing is extremely expensive. The whole company made Jimmy over $700 million in just 1 year of 2023, and it's basically $2 million a day. Jimmy built a $500,000 Willy Wonka factory just to promote his chocolate brand, and even sent a chocolate bar to space. This got to be one of the most expensive companies in the world right now, and the entire value of Feastables in 2024 is at least $5 billion, and it's going to be worth even more over the years. And now we unofficially the most expensive item owned by Mr. Beast, that's worth $44 billion. And this might just blow your freaking mind, because turns out that Mr. Beast owns a company named Twitter, also known as X. And I'm not joking at all. When a billionaire, Elon Musk, bought Twitter in 2022, Mr. Beast asked him if he can have Twitter after Elon Musk dies. Surprisingly, Elon said yes, and Jimmy even pinned that tweet on his profile, and you can easily find it even today. So technically, Jimmy owns an entire Twitter company, which is again worth a whopping $44 billion. This has to be the biggest flex done by a YouTuber in history.